Okay, boomers, it's time for another installment. Actually, this one's been eating at me since I did the Ecuador one. I'll go back to what happens when you retire. I don't care if you plan it for 10 years or it happens to you one day when you're not expecting it. You're, I don't think you're ever actually ready for it, at least inside your head. The, um, the change in your life is pronounced. Not just I don't care how much money you have or how much you don't have. All of a sudden, you're not going to work every day and you're not making money anymore. Or you may still be making money, but you're not going to work every day. And so I remember when it happened, I wouldn't say we panicked, but we realized that something big was going to change. And so rather than just let it happen, we took matters into our own hands. It was funny. My wife had a newspaper article. We had looked into, as I said, Belize and Panama, Costa Rica, and she had a newspaper article from some people who lived nearby who had had an article written about them going to Ecuador. We called them up, sat down with them at Cracker Barrel for a few hours one Sunday morning. They invited us to come when they were going to be there the next month, which was January. This was just before Christmas. So when we decided, we went to Ecuador for a couple of weeks, and we decided it was a great place. We came back, we had to figure out what we were going to do. A lot of people bring containers with them wherever they go. You can move your whole existence with you, but it's not easy. It's not cheap, and I found out later it's there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Sometimes it goes right. We didn't want to move our existence with us. We wanted to start fresh in a new country. We knew that Spanish was going to be a difficult thing to overcome. We knew that it was going to be a challenge to adapt to a different culture and a way of life. But the things that you encounter, the fact that everyone has a wall around their home, that there are armed guards, although sometimes they don't have bullets, but there are armed guards at banks and businesses, any place that has money involved, standing outside with automatic weapons. Sometimes it's a shotgun. A lot of private security, a great deal, and just amazingly different. So for the first, and then you meet the expat community. There's always some kind of an expat community. And where we were, which was Cuenca, Ecuador, there was a pretty large one. But we soon found out that 70% of the people who arrived on any given day, 2 years later, were gone. We stayed longer than a lot. And the reasons for coming and the reasons for going were very different. Some people went there for economic reasons, political reasons, adventure reasons, and sometimes that had a lot to do with whether they stayed or not. But we met a lot of people. We became insulated. I knew people that wouldn't go to a restaurant or hire a cab unless the people spoke English. And me, I didn't have any problem with getting into whatever cab came by and speaking Spanish to the cab driver. Usually they spoke English, but sometimes they didn't want to even let you know that they did. It's also a cash society, and this was unique to Ecuador. It's a U.S. dollar, but credit cards were not something that we used virtually ever. The ATM machine was the big deal. I'll get in next time. I'll get into the reasons for what happened.